In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to some of the strangest videos that I could find on the internet. Let's get into it.
If you live in the UK and have an iPhone, you're absolutely screwed. Apple has now announced that it will not offer UK users its advanced data protection tool anymore. This is extremely worrying, let me explain. Make sure you share this video with anybody who has an iPhone because trust me, you're gonna need to see this. Advanced data protection, which Apple did offer worldwide, essentially an end-to-end encryption tool, so it made your data on your device extremely secure. Anything you stored in the iCloud, in your phone, anywhere, it was extremely secure, no one could see it, not even Apple. Of course, the UK government intervened with this. A couple of weeks ago, they demanded access to Apple users' encrypted data, essentially wanting to see everything that is on your phone in the background, nothing's going to be private anymore. Apple basically said this is mad, but just completely stopped that data protection in the UK. Wouldn't just hand over all your data to the government either. But there's still a lot of areas in your phone that are completely end-to-end encrypted. No one will be able to see that, so don't worry. But at the same time, the government will probably be able to access certain things, and it's also going to make it slightly easier for hackers to get into. So make sure you have strong passwords, change your passwords regularly, so just stay safe, and I'll keep you updated.
I really wonder what's the all of a sudden wanting all of this access. Let me know for anyone that lives in the UK. Does this affect you at all? Or is this just something that you're like, whatever? Because I know here in America, things like this is pretty personal.
Demon Face is going crazy, y'all. So I've compiled just a few videos of these transformations going on that we keep seeing with really popular and big people. And it's just so insane to me because they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Did you see that? You gotta be looking at that, not me. What? Like, what would you even suppose that this is? I'm sure we've all heard the different myths and the legends and, the things down there under the ground, miles down, those things. But could they be demons? If you ask me, I would just say that we literally live in the movie they live. And this is always stuff going on around us. People on stages, on the movies, on TVs, just all the time. And we just can't see them for what they really are. And of course, when this kind of stuff is visually not going on, we kind of have something different. Like right now, everyone's watching this video of the Beeps and they're like, why is he acting so freaking weird? It's like these celebrities will just start glitching. Like, they literally just act weird. Y'all do remember the messages from Kanye's manager, right? Yeah, just making sure.
Did Stephen Greer fake a UFO sighting so he could justify all the stupid shit he claims? If you love Snarky Museum of Tarot, you're gonna love this video. So let's take a look at the evidence and you decide. As the story goes, back in 2015, Stephen Greer led one of his paid CE5 UFO summoning events in Zero Beach, Florida, or as we like to call it, South Central Long Island. And as they were sitting there on the beach, some spooky lights showed up over the ocean. First one, and then a few seconds later, another one. Okay, that's all fine and good and woo, super spoopy. But it's some of the things that Greer mentions and the situation around that event that should make you suspicious.
Okay, you see that color?
Yeah. That's not a plane.
No, oh no. Okay, so I'm looking with the night scopes. There's no smoke, there's no trails, these are not flares.
Wait, what was that? First, he jumps on it when somebody says that these aren't planes, and then he goes out of his way to specifically state that these aren't flares. Let's say you went to a new restaurant and you got a hamburger, and the waiter brought you your hamburger, and you took a bite, and he said, that's totally not rat meat. Like, dude, why would you even say that? Is this some kind of like Freudian guilty conscious shit going on? Well, you're about to find out. So, Greer claims that there were no planes out there that night. In the video, he says that those aren't planes. Well, let's analyze that claim, shall we? As you can see from this flight data, there was a small plane out there in the sky, right where they were sitting in Vero Beach, at the correct distance from the shoreline where they spotted the objects, and it was at the approximate right time. This says 9:11 p.m. that night, and we know that they were sitting out there at 9:11 right around 9:15 p.m. because Stevie asked for a time check.
PM time?
9:15.
9:15, so the mark time.
So this plane with the registration N110SU flew right past him at the right time, at the right area, at the right distance from the coastline. And we're going to see why that registration is significant in a moment. Something else that Stevie does here is also kind of sus. He tells the participants to shut off their night vision scopes, which would have indicated whether there was a plane over the horizon.
Wow, and it's above the sea
Please
level.
turn off your night scope, Charles. Off.
In fact, he does this even though he says that he was using a night vision scope, controlling the information during the session so that nobody else could see what he was seeing.
Okay, so I'm looking with the night scopes. There's no smoke, there's no trails, these are not flares.
Now, I don't know about you, but as a fully grown man whose balls actually dropped, if I paid some son of a bitch several $1,000s to go sit on a beach and wait for orbs to show up, and those orbs showed up, you better be damn sure I'm looking at it however the hell I want to.
Yeah.
So for Steven to act like some school teacher scolding a child to turn off their scope when that adult presumably paid him to be there is sus and control freaky as fuck. He also makes damn sure that his people are recording the incident, which, if you went through that much trouble to set it up, you'd want to get all the press and publicity out of it that you could.
Whoa.
Jacques, please photograph.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
cameras should be filming.
And indeed, ever since this event, this has been one of Greer's key pieces of evidence for UFOs. Right. Now, Greer's own footage gives us a hint that this was, in fact, a plane dropping flares out over the ocean. They had more than one camera set up, and this second camera looks like it captured some stills, and it looks as if they might have had the ISO turned up a little higher on this camera. And that can allow you to see things in the footage that you normally wouldn't see with the unaided eye. And if I take these pictures and I enlarge them, and I put them side by side, you can see very clearly that there are lights leading away from the site where the two flares were dropped. And what this looks like are the aviation safety lights on the aircraft. And if we put them all side by side, you can see flare 1 drop, flare 2 drop a few seconds later, and as they are dropping, you'll see the light farther and farther and farther away as it's moving away from the site where the flares were dropped. And is there any other indication that these were flares? Well, yes. If you actually look at the original footage and speed it up, you'll see that flare 1 shows up and starts dropping, and flare 2 shows up and starts dropping, and they drop at the same speed towards the horizon, and they blink out as they start to go towards the water, but they're also moving in unison, and they're being blown by the wind along with the clouds. Now, if someone wants to spin this, they'll say that the UFO showed up and then they went into the ocean. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why the hell would UFOs be blown by the wind? Get real. They sell these flares. They're actually pretty cheap. You pull the thing, the flare shoots out, and it drops down with a parachute, and they last about a minute or two until they burn out, which is exactly what you see in the footage. So I hope this is starting to paint a picture and you're starting to come to some realizations. But let's expand a little bit further and take a look at who that plane actually belongs to. As you can see, that registration is a Beechcraft Model 76 Duchess, but that Beechcraft was registered to an outfit known as Ari Ben Aviation, and Ari Ben Aviation is headquartered out of this airport in Fort Pierce, Florida, just south of Vero Beach. So even the flight path would have taken it north just along the same route that we saw with the flares. Now, in my opinion, Greer has been nothing but a disappointment over the almost 30 years that I've been watching his stuff. In my opinion, he has not produced anything that I would consider actual evidence of any of his claims. We know he was funded by Larry Rockefeller to push Rockefeller's goofy little cultural conditioning UFO psyop. Greer, along with people like Bob Bigelow, Linda Moulton Howe, and even the Slurm Queen herself, Hillary, were all part of this. And through all of it, the only thing Greer has ever produced is stupid footage like this, his fake little Atacama alien body that was proven to be a malformed human, and let's not forget Bijou the Andromedan, which,
Our group, if you go to cseti.org, has a photograph of a extraterrestrial being that visited us transdimensionally that actually appeared in a photograph a couple of years ago at Joshua Tree National Park, and he was from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Oh boy, what convincing proof. Oh look, I think I spotted another one. Maybe if you meditate and open your throat chakra, it'll give you a surprise.
Don't get me wrong, I love the theory that there's whistleblowers out there that have all of this evidence, but when it comes to him, he always has really sketchy evidence. Now, with there being a flight path back in 2015 confirmed, and you can look all of that stuff up, it's clear to see that that was a fake setup that Greer set up. And with that being said, that should be clear enough evidence that he's probably a scam artist or a fraud. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but for me, I think I'm really a disbeliever in Stephen Greer information.
Really? So many people have been requesting this. I've shown you Circuit City. I've shown you Hometown Buffet. Places that have been closed for years. None are standing. And now I'm going to go to Toys R Us. None of them exist. There's none in existence. Let me show you something. This is going to blow your freaking mind. There it is, guys. Right there. Toys R Us. I'm on my way. Toys R Us, baby. We're going. I'm about to go inside. I'm going to try to be very discreet because it is 2005. Guys, I'm here in Toys R Us. How do you deny this? I mean, guys, this is the real deal. There are no more Toys R Us. I'm in 2005 right now, guys.
I have seen some of this guy's videos in passing about him being a time traveler and going to all of these places, and I'd have to admit, some of his videos are fairly convincing. This one's okay, but there's a few things that are a dead giveaway. First of all, there's a baby shark over here. Second of all, this right here, I know you can't see my mouse, but beside the rocket, that's an iPhone. That's a fairly recent iPhone. Those did not exist in 2005, not like that anyways. As far as I know, the iPhone came out in like 2007, so good try, buddy. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. For everyone that's currently watching and or subscribed, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel.
Petrified Nephilim and Nagamut Fossil University.
This, if you understand the way skin peels and it peels off as it decays, you'll understand this is quite real. And I believe this is actually red blood up in here because it was a red-blooded creature. Look at his neck. This is where down where his neck was. You see the red blood here? Here's his throat coming up through. The lips are different than the eyes, obviously. His little nose is here, and that's about as alien as you get. Now, this shot is showing straightforward. It looks like he has a collar around some kind of a spacesuit or something. Because here it is sideways. Hold on, where did he go? Here it is. You see it sideways? It looks like he's got some kind of collar around his head, and he's got like 2 ears or something. I don't know. And that's where that red spot was in the top. Now, it appears that all creatures are red-blooded, because I'm going to show you another one. It looks like a naga. Now, that's pretty alien to me. I don't see why I should be excluded from being able to post there. I think you should go up there and say, Giorgio, Eric, what's going on, man? What's going on with you guys? I thought you were looking for aliens. You were looking for something, not just to dismiss somebody that has evidence. All right, how about this for an alien head? This is real, and I'm going to show you why I can make those statements. This is up in Washington State. A friend of mine, Kim, has this head. Now, this one I have access to. The other alien one, this one here, this is sold, that's gone. This was Heath Bowman sent me these pictures, and he had just sold it.
I mean, I definitely see a face or something in that rock or fossil or whatever it is. Is it alien? I don't know, but it definitely looks alien-esque. Now, for that second photo that he was showing, I was really hoping to see a little bit more about this, but the video just ended abruptly and I can't find anything else about this. But the other image that he showed, there's no way that that was a fossil. That had to be like a wood carving or something, but I would really like to know a little bit more about this. So if anyone has any information, let me know in the comments.
Y'all remember yesterday where I was talking about how people are seeing these tiny human-like beings at their house? So this Redditor right here shared some photos from their security cameras. This is the Redditor's carport in the daytime. Look at the neighbor's driveway in this next picture. What is that? So apparently this Redditor fully believes that he's caught a gnome on camera. And when you zoom in on this thing, it is very small and human-like. It looks like it's starting to like
a
dissipate
dog.
though, just like in the photos I showed you yesterday. This thing looks like a mythical creature. But people all over the internet are capturing these little things in their yards. Whatever this thing is, it has to be really small too, like a little elf or something. And before you guys say that it's just lighting or one of these plants making a weird shadow, here are the pictures side by side in the daytime and at night. What do you guys think this is? Let me know.
I think that's just someone letting their dog outside and it's just using the bathroom, but I could be mistaken. Let me know what you guys think.
Okay, guys, I'm told that these are leaked videos and leaked images and leaked footage of actual beings. Now, when you see that, you're gonna say, "That's crazy. There's no way that's real." And you know, it's probably not real, but it could be. And see, this is the thing. This is why when I see this and I get sent something like this, I don't just take it lightly, because we're told that these type beings do exist and that they are amongst us. Check out this footage and tell me what you think. Yes, exactly right. I mean, a lot of people would say, "Hey, look, that's a gray alien." Guys, I'm not seeing the slit in the eyes, and I'm told that if these are really the other people, we'll just say that since they don't allow us to use that word, since they protect them, that they don't have those eyes like that they have the pupils. Could this possibly be the ones that, you know, the scaly people, so to speak?
Nah, I think
Could it be real?
I think those are AI images.
Leave your comments. Let me know what you think.
The internet's just getting so full of AI junk right now, it's hard to find good, decent content. It was just a repeat of different AI generated images and the guy going along with it saying that these could be real. Obviously, those were not.
Kenny Beach. He would go hiking and exploring all throughout Nevada and California near Area 51. And he found this cave and he said it was shaped perfectly like a capital M. And he started walking close to it and he said his whole body felt like it was vibrating. He said the vibration in his body was so intense that it scared him and he ran away. And then he talked about it on his YouTube and everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta go back. You gotta go back and see what it was." And then there's one comment that said, "Do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, do not go in. You won't get out."
Oh.
He ignored it, bought his girlfriend. He's like, "I'll be back tomorrow, gonna camp out there." Never came back. And they don't know where he is.
He's just dropped off the face of the earth. Bro.
They found his car that was like a couple miles from the cave, but they have not been able to find him. People theorize that it was an entrance to Area 51.
There's something weird in Nevada. 51, the Lovelock Cave, the hole, the cave that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just weird supernatural stuff that happens.
I really do find this story pretty fascinating. Now, do I believe it to be an entrance to Area 51? I really don't think that they would allow something like that to exist, where there's a cave outside of Area 51 for people to just randomly go into and end up inside of their facility. But if it was really something worth exploring or discovering, I would also think that they would have that all fenced off. But nonetheless, I would really like to know what was in that cave. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about this story? Do you think that that cave actually exists? The story about this guy is real. It didn't necessarily take place with an M-shaped cave, but it did take place around Nevada and him disappearing. So I really would like to know what happened to him.
There's some crazy paranormal video that just came out on Reddit. So there's this guy who lives in an apartment, right?
Yeah.
His apartment was built in 1935 and it hasn't gone through many changes. It's still like very old, very like rustic, right?
Yeah.
So at every night he takes a video and there's a loud ass knock coming from his closet. And he walks to it. Soon as he opens it fast, no more knocking. He goes back.
Oh shit.
I'll show you the video. This is so crazy. Like, I know it's real for 100%.
We'll burn the house down, man.
Listen to this noise. Ready?
I really don't think I'm
Fuck that shit, bro.
No more. So I'm telling you, this guy has been seeing like a lot of shit through his whole house.
Yeah.
And I'll show you the last part of the video. This is fucked because guess what the ghost goes for?
Let me see.
And if you can't tell, hasn't really been updated.
Until 1932.
The cross falls out.
If it's happening consistently like that and it's happening primarily at night, I wonder what it really could be if it's not like a ghost. Could it be a draft coming through the closet and it's just making the door bang really hard? But I don't know, but that was some really aggressive banging. I would not be happy to have to live through that.
Corey, this one will freak you out. Okay. So the story goes, this guy is pig hunting and he's using a thermal scope. He's been on this field all night, hasn't seen anything move. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get up from this tree. He's like on some brush and he's like, I'm going to go across the field. And he's sitting there for a while and then out of nowhere, a little blob shows up. He's like, here we go. The pigs are coming in. He's locked in. He's ready, you know, for the thing to show itself. But then it gets up and he realizes that this infrared blob is humanoid. And he said it appears to look like a naked human. Goes over to the tree that he was just sitting against and starts checking it out or sniffing it. And the guy is across the field just going like, I don't understand what I'm looking at. Then the thing is on all fours, postures up like it's about to howl. And then in a woman's voice goes, help! Oh gosh. Help! Continues to do it. The dude fired one way over the top of this thing's head. And then it goes, I'm injured, help! And then he sends another one. It runs and he sends a couple and he's like, it ran away from where my truck is, goes back to his truck, never goes in that field again.
Yeah, I hate that so much.
Said it was a naked humanoid, crawled up and was sniffing the tree the dude was just sitting on. It had been stalking him.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely does sound creepy, but I hope that that was not an injured person out there really looking for help. That would be horrible. I don't know how I would have handled that if I was in that situation, because if I heard them asking for help, I probably would have had to approach them. I mean, I'm at least armed with a weapon. I would definitely have to see if that was really someone needing help, because I would be concerned. I'm that guy that dies first in a movie.
So technology continues to advance at the rapid rate. The Robotics and AI Institute has developed the Ultra Mobility Vehicle, also known as a UMV, which is a self-balancing robotic bike that's capable of navigating challenging terrain and even jumping into high surfaces. Now, it's using AI to develop this thing called reinforcement learning, which is playing a key role in the ability for these robots to adapt to complex situations and perform better. Unlike regular self-balancing bikes, this UMV does not use a gyroscope for stability. Instead, it moves like a regular bicycle, and it steers with its front wheel while shifting a weighted top section up and down to maintain balance. The reinforcement learning allows it to learn movements that would be difficult to achieve with conventional control methods. Now, the only real challenge right now is riding in reverse or riding backwards, because that's really highly unstable right now, especially if it's on uneven ground.
A bizarre vegan cult has left a trail of death across America. But not long ago, they were just a group of young, talented tech people trying to save the world. So what went so wrong? And warning, this gets weird as hell. You see, too many villain arcs begin with a rejection. I mean, we're not even going to talk about art school. And this one is no different. Jack Lasota, a trans woman, was pushed out of a radical online community known as the Rationalist Movement after Jack's ideas were too extreme, even for them. One of which was the idea that the two hemispheres of the human brain had different genders and were actively trying to kill each other. But being kicked out didn't mean that those ideas just went away. Jack took his online username Ziz and created a group that became known as the Zizians. And they didn't just want to talk about their ideas online, they wanted to create a new way of life. And in 2017, they took those ideas seriously. Somewhere off the coast of California, they acquired an old, rusting World War II era tugboat, and their plan for it was radical. Create a floating community of free-thinking individuals who would live outside the rules of society, focusing on philosophy, AI, research, and radical veganism. And after 5 years of living on this boat, they probably thought they had achieved this. But locals who saw the Zizians on board, they described them as dirty, isolated, feral humans. And after this rusted old boat started actually sinking, the Zizians were forced on land, and that's where things turned dark. Homeless and desperate, the Zizians relocated to California, and that's where they met 82-year-old Curtis Lynn. He rented them a space in his trailer park for around $2,000 a month, and at first, things seemed stable. Then, suddenly, they stopped paying. Curtis tried to evict them, the Zizians refused to leave, and the situation spiraled to the point where Curtis was attacked with with a freaking sword. He was impaled through the chest, inflicted multiple stab wounds, including one that blinded his right eye. But despite his severe injuries, he managed to shoot 2 of his attackers, one fatally, and somehow he survived. But then, just last month, days before he was actually supposed to testify in court against the Zizians, Curtis was fatally stabbed in the neck outside his home by someone with the name Maximilian Schneider, successfully stopping him from ever testifying. And this was just the start. Another Zizian member was arrested after both her parents were found shot dead inside their home. And then also last month, 2 Zizian members got into a full-on shootout with Border Patrol, which resulted in the death of one of the officers and one of the members. And inside their car, authorities found night vision goggles, tactical gear, and an arsenal of weapons. Authorities realized this wasn't just some group of fringe intellectuals. This was a violent cult. And all of this led to the most recent arrest, the leader, Jack Lasota. Ziz was arrested dressed in all black, carrying ammunition belts and a weapon. And unfortunately, it doesn't even stop there, because authorities believe that several of these members are still out there, some in hiding and others possibly even planning their next move.
Wow, that is crazy, sad, and all kinds of mixed reaction and feelings on that one. I have never heard of this before, so this was all new information to me, and man, that is scary. There's some people out there that really should not be on the internet. Or if they are, they need to be heavily monitored, because that right there should have been stopped before it even started. Them vegans went crazy. And I thought the whole point about being vegan was just to be kind of peaceful, to not cause harm to other animals and creatures. So why would you want to cause harm to people like that? Oh man, that might be enough internet for today. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you all for stopping by and watching. And with that being said, have a good day.